is that there are these black performers. You mentioned that there were entertainers at the inauguration. There are these black performers that were performing for Snoop Dogg, Nelly, a couple of others.
Snoop Dogg fires back at Sunny Hostin for embarrassing him on live TV. Wait, seriously? Did this happen? Sunny says black artists like Snoop and Nelly shouldn't have performed at the inauguration. But who decides that? Is this really about politics or something bigger? Let's dive in to know the whole story. Sunny Hostin, one of the co-hosts of The View, has found herself at the center of a heated discussion after making critical comments about rappers Snoop Dogg and Nelly for performing at such an event. As always, she didn't hold back and criticize black performers, with Snoop Dogg being her main target.
If you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City.
She aired a striking clip featuring Keith Boykin, a former Bill Clinton aide, who delivered a bold take on the issue. Wild, isn't it? Keith Boykin's appearance on the show was essential. He dived in without any break, calling out Trump's past actions and connected them directly to why he felt Snoop and Nelly's performance was wrong. I think Sunny showed him on The View to just make things even messier. What do you think?
In the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman.
Boykin was unable to stop himself, saying Snoop and Nelly's choice to perform with Trump was a slap in the face to the black community. He fired back with a list of Trump's shady moves that, in his eyes, have hurt black folks for years.
And her daughter, Shay Moss, for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor black people.
Boykin made it quite clear. Black artists performing for Trump? Straight betrayal. He threw in a punch about legacy and responsibility, asking how they could back Trump and still vibe with Martin Luther King's values. Sunny and the crowd were feeling it, giving him a round of applause like it was something out of this world. Was it? And guess what?
Even though I didn't watch any of the balls or anything, I think what Keith said is so important for us to remember, that this is who Donald Trump is.
Sunny didn't just nod along to Boykin's points, she built on them. She highlighted the hypocrisy of Trump's inauguration coinciding with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day that symbolizes racial and economic equality. For her, it was an unforgivable association. I mean, learn from your past mistakes, Hostin. Rather than watching the inauguration, she said she opted to protect her peace. Can you believe this? She even made a statement about Joe Biden. Have a look.
We know this is a vengeful man, and if I can protect me and mine, I would do that. And so I think we need to show Joe Biden some grace. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about that a lot of people are talking about.
Oh, so Sunny's out here preaching about giving Biden some grace, huh? That's definitely a solid point. Giving grace can help ease tensions and bring us all together. But here's the thing, people are kind of calling out the fact that Sunny might want to practice what she's preaching. You can't really talk about showing grace to Biden if you're not extending that same kindness to others, right? On the flip side, there's also a lot of respect for Sunny's point. She's trying to broaden her perspective. Her message isn't just about Biden, it's about encouraging people to zoom out and show more grace across the board. But yeah, people are pointing out the irony that if you're going to tell the world to give grace, it wouldn't hurt to show it in your own actions first. You know, walk the walk. So maybe it's all about striking a balance. Let's show Biden some grace, but let's also remember to dish it out to everyone, including the squad. It's a two-way street.
So you're saying that those two guys should not be?
No, it was more than the two of them. But listen, I think it was them, and it was so many other people. The thing that really I think was spotlighting Snoop is because of the things that Snoop Dogg said 10 days before the inaugural in 2017. And so look, if you opposed and stood up against Trump.
Her take wasn't just about Trump's past, it was about a bigger issue. For her, Snoop and Nelly's choice was more than just a performance. It was a statement, whether they meant it or not. They are literally calling out the flip-flopping of Snoop Dogg. Let me tell you why.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
I wonder who that is. Wait, is that the same guy?
Back in 2017, Snoop slammed others for performing at Trump events, but now he's doing the same thing. But pretending like his past comments never happened, that's why people are roasting him. They're basically saying, own your choices or don't act like the past never happened, Snoop. And as always, the View panel had a mix of takes. Joy Behar cracked a joke to kick things off, but seems like that wasn't enough to cool things off. Ana Navarro jumped and left one final message for Snoop, not holding back on how she felt about the whole thing.
January 7th, 2021. But you were there now, applauding him like a trained seal? Donald Trump has not changed. You've changed. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alyssa Farah Griffin took the more let's be chill approach. Alyssa reminded everyone that performers might have personal reasons for what they do. Well, I would say better watch out, hosts. People might roast you again for this one.
I don't come for the artist. It's the same way I felt about Carrie Underwood. I think that people see it as part of American tradition to be part of this. They can issue statements if they want to clarify what their views are on Trump.
While Nelly has spoken out about the backlash, saying this:
the office, out of respect, they give their life for the love of this country. I love this country as well. It is an honor for me to perform for the president of the United States, regardless of who was in office. If President Biden would have asked me to perform, I would have performed. If Vice President Kamala Harris would have won and asked me to perform, I would have performed.
Snoop Dogg has remained silent on the matter. Nelly's stance appears to be one of indifference. He doesn't seem bothered by what people think of his decision to perform. This silence from Snoop, however, has left many wondering what his thoughts are. Was it purely a business decision? Or does he have a different perspective on the situation that he's choosing not to share publicly? Meanwhile, the hosts of The View seem to be making it their mission to stir the pot more than ever. One day they're going after Elon Musk, and the next it's Snoop Dogg. Who's next on their list?
You should be there. Artists are there for the money, and at the end of the day, am I going to fault them? They're there for the money.
This whole debate really boils down to one big question. Should artists use their platforms to take a stand, or can they just stick to their art and leave politics out of it? This is bigger than you think, y'all. For Sunny and Keith, it's simple. Performing at Trump's inauguration? Bad move, bad message, but at least it pays. But for others, like Alyssa Farah Griffin, it's more of it's complicated situation. Artists might have their own reasons. Maybe it's about the money, or maybe it's just about getting that exposure. I mean, do we really expect musicians to drop the mic on politics every time? Sometimes they just want to drop beats, not bombs. Come one. Even Whoopi Goldberg's comment about people doing what they do for whatever reason underscores this complexity. While she didn't openly defend Snoop or Nelly, she acknowledged that their decisions are their own, even if her co-hosts disagree. But it's not all Sunny ranted about.
I decided to protect my peace and celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day yesterday. So I did not watch the inauguration.
She wasted no time pointing out calling out the hypocrisy and irony of the inauguration happening on a day meant to honor Martin Luther King Jr. Using her experience as a lawyer, she pointed out the clear contradiction between the plans to roll back diversity and inclusion efforts and Dr. King's fight for racial equality and economic fairness. She continued, "I want to remind people that he said, Black Americans deserved reparations for the injustices they faced. He argued that reparations were a form of justice, in fact, not charity." But not everyone agreed. Some people pushed back, saying the focus should be on what's coming next, not just the past. It's clear that opinions were mixed on whether the timing really mattered or if the bigger picture was more important. As usual, the debate has created all kinds of reactions from viewers and social media folks. Some were coming for the hosts of The View, throwing shade left and right, while others had Sunny's back. Well, not a ton of people, but hey, a few clapbacks in support. Guess the online comment section had its own debate going on, huh? So these ladies are giving an opinion on an inauguration they didn't watch? You got a point, lady. The View talk like they got a majority of people on their side, LOL. This whole debate also raises some big questions. Should we expect artists to be held to a higher standard because they have so much influence? Or is it unfair to put all the pressure on them to fix the world? Big thing, right? And this isn't the end of it. Valuetainment also had a little chat about it, and trust me, what they said will be more entertaining to you than the whole valuetainment. Well, let's just say it's worth the time.
9 a.m. Nelly gets a call. He says, "Hey man, these guys want you to perform at 9 o'clock." "That's early. I never perform at 9 o'clock. You sure it's 9 o'clock? He says, "Yes." He says, "They just want me to perform at 9 p.m. I'm normally 11 o'clock. He says, No. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
He gets up, he says, never in my life have I given a concert to 10,000 people.
This whole situation is just when everyone's getting exposed for their contradictions. Nelly's story is straightforward. He showed up, did his thing, secured the bag, and kept it real. You can't knock him for that. Plus, let's be honest, $1.5 million makes a 9 a.m. gig worth the early alarm. But Snoop's flip-flop, that's where the real tea is.
And then Snoop, also there's a clip that resurfaced from him in 2017, making fun of, the language with the accent of, hey.
It's interesting how public figures can change over time, right? Back in 2017, some celebrities were criticized for performing at Trump events and people called them sellouts. But now, a few years later, some of the same people or others are doing similar things. It shows how complicated things can get in the world of entertainment. On one hand, people can change their views or make different choices for various reasons, like money or shifting opinions. But on the other hand, the internet never forgets. And when someone switches sides, it can make people question their consistency. It's important for people to own their past actions and explain why they've changed, instead of pretending it didn't happen. Being honest about those shifts can help keep trust with fans and the public.
For those that are performing at Trump's event, go ahead, Rob.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it?
So basically, both Sunny and Valuetainment are calling out artists, but for different reasons. Sunny's mad about the message it sends, while Valuetainment is all about Snoop's "don't forget what you said before" hypocrisy. It's all connected because they're both digging into how public figures like Snoop handle their choices, especially when it comes to politics. Do you get it now, or still not? I know it's complicated, but what isn't in the media? So, was Sunny right to call out Snoop and Nelly, or is this just too much? Should artists stick to art or take a stand in politics? And what do you think about Snoop Dogg? Because I don't really think about him at all. Do let us know your views in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.